episode of FIIOB podcast. Tonight, we won't be talking about any particular match. We are going to talk about the whole of La Liga season, and we will, with very difficulty, try to figure out a team of the season of 2020 and 2021. Now, this season has been part of many great things. For example, Atletico Madrid are in the pole position to win the league after 7 years. Cholo Simeone is gonna win his second La Liga title, barring any mishaps in the next two games. Suarez, after disheartened leave from FC Barcelona, is currently the top scorer in Atletico Madrid camp and is leading them towards the title. Marcos Llorente has had a amazing resurgence in his career and is currently the top assist maker in the league and also has double digits in his score. Karim Benzema still leads the Real Madrid attack, which is pretty much paralyzed, I would say. But he's still the top scorer in the team and is second top scorer in the league. Iago Aspas, the name everyone knows, still keeping Celta Vigo afloat. And we have seen some things which should not be mentioned, like Leo Messi, who has still been the sole savior for the team FC Barcelona and is still leading the Pichichi charts by a long mile, like 8 goals or at least. So I have with me Nobagoto from the league leaders camp, Shubhodeep and Niloy from the Chasers to help me figure out who will be in the La Liga team of the season. First, before we begin with the teams, I would like to ask you one thing, guys. Let's say, Novagoto, you support Atletico Madrid. Now, from this team, how many players do you think should be a part of the team of the season?
From Atletico.
Yes, from Atletico.
So I think no doubt Lorente has been prolific this season, so he has to be there in the team of the season. And apart from that, just in front of a goalkeeper, Oblak is again on course to get another Zamora. So he is again the best goalkeeper in the league and should be there in the team of the season. Apart from that, I think Savage has been pretty good as well this season. Can be debatable, but I feel he has put a lot of good performance over the course of the season, and he has even if you watch the last match, he made a very good block, which end us to get the full 3 points. Apart from that, another good shout would be the right back Trippier. He has been vital for the connection between him and Lorente has brought us a lot of goals and assists. So I think Trippier would also be a good shout as a right back in the team of the season.
So
And
I
apart from
have
that, Luis,
four
yeah.
names from the Atletico Madrid camp, namely Marcos Llorente, Jan Oblak, Stefan Savic, and Kieran Trippier. So now I will move on to Shubhodeep. Real Madrid hasn't been performing very good this season. They did manage to reach the semifinals in the Champions League, but in the league, I would say it's my personal opinion that I would say they have underperformed. Still, how many players do you think should feature in the team?
Uh, this is actually a tricky question on your behalf. I think it should be somewhere between 3 and 4, depending on whether we choose to keep Oblak on goal or whether it should be Courtois. I think Courtois has been amazing with the nature of saves that he's made. I think if we go down to stats, I think we'll find his post-shot XG is very good or something. And in some games, he has just kept Real Madrid in the game all by himself. I think Karim Benzema definitely has to be there, and I would probably pick Casemiro as well. It remains to be seen. I think Nacho should be there and Courtois. I don't think any other person should even come into the discussion. Among them, I think Benzema should be an absolute first choice. The others we can still debate.
So So both the teams from the Madrid sides have 4 names each. Now Niloy, except Leo Messi, who I am sure is the obvious choice in any lineup, how many players do you think should come from FC Barcelona?
Yeah, so I think one name that should pop up is Jordi Alba, because there are a lot of good fullbacks in La Liga. But if we consider this season, at least on the attacking end, Jordi Alba has been like pretty good. He has shown sort of his like peak form and stuff. So I think he should get a shout here. And other than that, Busquets can or cannot be included. It is debatable because like he has had some good games, and he has at times influenced the team. And like whole of our 3-4-3 or 3-5-2 formations that have been fielded by Koeman are totally based on Busquets playing successfully well, and that has actually given us points. So it is debatable, but I think his name should be there. And as you mentioned, Leo Messi is a name that should pop up. Another name that I think like it obviously shouldn't be included in the team of the season, but it could have been a contender if Araujo had played more games, if he was regular. Because if you check stats or if you have watched Barcelona play when he was playing, he has been a leader at defense in being just 21, 22 years old. And like he has rarely been dribbled past, and I think he hasn't been dribbled past once. I think so. And like he has been generally good. So if he had played more games, then his name might have popped up.
Yes, Ronald Araujo has suffered 3 different injuries this campaign, and he has not been dribbled past till the last game he played, in which he was actually sidelined due to injury in the second half.
Yeah.
So we have 4 names from Atletico Madrid, 4 names from Real Madrid, and 3 names and one slight shout out from Barcelona. Now I would ask you guys to fix one lineup formation in which our team would perform. Will it be 4-3-3? Will it be 3-5-2? Or will it be 3-4-3? Navagato, I will go to you first.
I think it depends a lot on the opponent we are facing. But like if we were planning to go from the attacking point of view, we would go 3-5-2, and that's been a norm this season. We have seen for a lot of the teams in La Liga. So yeah, 3-5-2, I guess.
Niloy, since FC Barcelona has more or less played with the 3-5-2 formation since Koeman has been appointed, do you go with that formation as well, or do you have any others in mind?
Like I was confused between 4-4-2 and 3-5-2 since both of these formations have been used the most this season. But I would agree with Navagatan you here, because I think 3-5-2 is the formation that we should go with, because there have been a lot of good midfielders in La Liga this season, and it would actually make our jobs easier if we have 3 slots to like put in the team of the season, I think.
Shubhadeep, will we have a different verdict from you, or are we having an unanimous vote on 3-5-2?
Actually, I was initially I was very keen on 4-3-3. I was thinking about it, but 3-5-2 does actually eases up the job in very easily, because I have a very good idea who those 2 frontmen should be. Like there are 3 very good number 9 this season. Of course, Messi is not a number 9, but is still the prime goal scorer for Barcelona. So there was a debate. The other one, should it be Benzema, should it be Suarez, or should it be Moreno? But I think 3-5-2 makes it easier. And as Niloy pointed out, there have been a lot of very good midfield performances in this year in La Liga. And speaking of midfield, I would go over to Niloy. Niloy, I heard the names you mentioned who could potentially be in La Liga team of the season. And one name I felt should be in the discussion, but I was a little surprised that you didn't mention him, and rather you mentioned Busquets, that is Frenkie de Jong. I think December to February in most games he has been impeccable. Your thoughts on that?
Yes, Frenkie de Jong has been like, he obviously has been pretty good. And if we see like in compared to last season, he has obviously been like improving a lot. But the reason I didn't keep him is because I think that like the role that he played, playing a bit further up, apart from when he wasn't playing as a part, like as a libero in the 3-5-2. Like when he has been playing further up in that role, Marcos Llorente has actually been better. So like even if we try to include him, I think Marcos Llorente's name would obviously pop up, and I think he would get a place in the team in place of him. So that was the reason why I didn't mention him.
Yes, I get that. The one reason I was a little keen on him is because we talked about Busquets here, and I saw the Barcelona Atletico match that ended in a 0-0 draw, and I saw that Busquets got off injured, and when Ilash came in instead of Busquets, it was just all over Atletico. Barcelona just couldn't win the ball back, which was Busquets' main role, and till then Atletico just kept on dominating for I think a whole period of 30 minutes. So Busquets, even a lot of people will say he's slow now, and I think he's slow, and that is starting to affect because that's how the game has changed now. The one touch, fluid possession building game is now replaced by pace and power football, especially from clubs in Germany and Spain. Pep, Klopp, or we can talk about Tuchel or Hansi Flick, they've all adapted this. So maybe Busquets might not be as effective next season.
Okay, a lot of
Yeah.
discussion and we have finalized our midfield formation, which is 3-5-2. And on the two, we already know one name, which is Leo Messi, who has been the top scorer this season till now. And I don't think anyone is gonna overtake him in the last 3 games for Real Madrid, where Karim Benzema is the only person who is leading the race from Real Madrid's side, which is in 21 goals. So, keeping Leo Messi fixed at one point, we have 10 other positions to cover. We will go to the goalkeeper spot at last because we have two very big names fighting for it and two equally challenging names. So I will go with the defense lineup first. Which three defenders Novagoto you see playing in this team?
As I mentioned earlier, Savage goes there first, and Sevilla's Koundé. He had a great season, so he should be there. And apart from that, I think Ramos, or maybe like, is it we're looking at a CB, right? Or
Yes, CB.
or then I think either between Ramos or Varane, anyone.
Ramos hasn't been playing the majority part of the season as he was more or less injured and other troubles. So, would you
I'll go
still
with
take
Varane.
him? You will go with Varane. Shubhadeep, do you support Navagato's pick with Varane, or do you have any other choices here?
Uh, I agree with him on Savage. I think Savage should really be there. Oblak, Savage, and Trippier have been very crucial to Atletico, conceding only 22 goals in the league this season, which I think again, unsurprisingly, is the lowest in Europe. Only near to that is Madrid, who have conceded 26 goals, and I think Manchester City has also conceded 26 goals. But I don't think either of Ramos or Varane should be there. Ramos has, I think, 180 minutes of La Liga football since January. And Varane, I think he had those very poor games at the start of the season. The 1-4 loss to Valencia or the 1-2 loss to Deportivo Alaves. I think from Real Madrid, the only nomination should be Nacho. I would say Militao, but Militao wasn't playing a lot at the start of the season. I would say Nacho, and my other two choices would be Savic and Pau Torres. I think Pau Torres has been very good this season, and he also got his international debut and is already being sought after. I think Koundé is very good, but I think Koundé is still a little rash sometimes.
So, from the two verdicts, we have Stefan Savic, Jules Koundé, Pau Torres, Rafael Varane, and Nacho Fernandez. Niloy, you have
Just
5 picks. Yes,
I would
Navagato.
like to add Hermoso also. He has been
Mario
vital for
Hermoso. Yes,
yeah.
a new
Instead
pick
of Varane,
in the
I'll go with-
Atletico camp who has been
Yeah.
phenomenal this season. Niloy, you have 6 names. So, who will be your defensive three?
Yeah, in my defensive three, the first name would obviously be Stefan Savic, probably the best CB this season in La Liga, Like it's always hard to fill Godin's shoes, but he has done a tremendous job this season, and I would love to keep Jules Kounde because like he's still young, as Shubhadeep mentioned, he's still rash, but I think the promise that he has shown at 22, it's sort of it's sort of reminiscent of what Rafael Varane had shown at his age. So I think his name should be there. I'm pondering a bit about the third name because one name that I think should be there is either of Pau Torres or maybe Rafael Varane. It's debatable this season because at times I think he has had some brain fade moments. And another surprise name that I think might pop up is of David Garcia from Osasuna, because like they at times have had a shaky defense, but from matches that I've seen, like he's sort of a leader in defense and like he organizes the defense very well. And there are matches that they have gotten clean sheets and they have seen through. Frankly, a lot of it they owe to him.
So, with the 6 names told before, Niloy has added one more name, who is David Garcia. Now, it's a very tough job to select, and I think 2 names are actually confirmed in the lineup, namely Jules Kounde and Stefan Savage. So, everything depends on the third spot. Nacho Fernandez, David Garcia, Pau Torres, and some might say Rafael Varane shouldn't be a good pick, but as 2 of us have mentioned here, I would keep him. So, keeping this spot open for further discussions, I would move on to the midfield. Now, we will need right wing back, left wing back, and 2 center midfielders, and also a defensive midfielder. Now, in the defensive midfield, we have big names of Fernando from Sevilla, Koke from Atletico Madrid, Casemiro from Real Madrid, and Busquets from FC Barcelona. Shubhadeep, you are a Real Madrid supporter, so like 90% chance is you will pick Casemiro. But I wouldn't ask you that why you will pick, but I would ask you that why the other names aren't as big of a threat in the team lineup as Casemiro is. Like why he should be the one to get the chance and not the others.
I think because of his insane ball recovery ability. If he gets dribbled past one, he just comes back and he's either going to give away a foul in an area that will potentially not be dangerous. He doesn't do a lot of fouls outside the box, and even when he does, he makes sure that it is a tight angle to score directly from a free kick. I think he can cross that line between physicality and extremity, but he dances on that line very well. I think there was a very prevailing internet joke on him on not getting any red card, which has recently gone away. He's been carded red twice since that, but he's not completely error free, but he knows how to rectify his own errors, I think, which is very important. And mostly because how much Real Madrid missed him. I think if Busquets is gone from Barcelona, I think Ilash or Frankie can be played in that place and they can somehow pull together, because Barcelona's USP right now is what Madrid's was a few years back. They outscore their opponents. Messi and Griezmann are in top form and they just score more than their opposition. I think Koke is very solid, but let's say not as solid as he was between 2013 to 16. I think right now it's more about just recovery and passing the ball forward to Llorente and Carrasco or whoever's available on the channels. So I would go with Casemiro for these obvious reasons.
Okay, I have heard 2 names here, Ilaix Moriba, Frankie de Jong, who might get a chance in the future team of the season lineups. But I will now go to Niloy. Niloy, you have already told that Busquets isn't a very promising pick in this team, but who do you think should actually play?
Like in the CDM position, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think I would go with Casemiro too, because like you said at the start of the podcast, Real Madrid haven't been good this season, like haven't been at their standards, but Casemiro is one of the players, and with I think Real Madrid have had 62 injuries till now, and he is one of the players that has always been there at the heart of Real Madrid midfield, and he has been there screening the defense, helping out in midfield. Like there have been matches where Modric has been good or Cruz has been good because they have Casemiro behind them. They know that like even if they lose the ball in midfield, there is one person that can win. And like as always, the job of CDM is the hardest and it goes unnoticed. But I think in terms of defensive stats or in terms of defensive actions, Casemiro tops the list. So he should be the clear like deserving name in the team of the season.
Okay, so two of our panelists have named Casemiro as the sole defensive midfielder. Nobagoto, will you be going with them, or do you have a different name to suggest here?
The different name which I would propose would be Koke. Like he might not have the goals or the assists to show for it, but he is he is the person who holds off the defense and the offense of our team. And it's 70% of I think the season he has been in this position, and he's new to this position, and he has played very well under Simeone for this position. But like if you were to just go with the stats, I think Casemiro does get better than Koke, and in some of the vital matches he has got the vital goals or assists. So I think it's very head to head, but I think Casemiro is slightly better.
So we have got our third player in the lineup, which is Carlos Enrique Casemiro. Now we will move on to the two central midfielders. Nabagato, I will again come to you. Your team has performed tremendously, solely due to the channels and the midfield of, say, Thomas Lemar, Saul Niguez, and others. But there are other names as well, namely Frankie de Jong from Barcelona, Toni Kroos and Luka Modric, the ever two jewels in the Real Madrid midfield. Then we have Ivan Rakitic from Sevilla and Papu Gomez as well, though he hasn't been playing a lot this season. Which two midfielders would you take in your team?
Uh, uh, I think I'll go with like it depends when Lorente plays in which role for the team. So if Lorente is playing in the midfield, then I would go with him. And apart from him, I think I'll go with Toni Kroos from Real Madrid.
So your two choices are Marcos Llorente and Toni Kroos.
Yeah.
Niloy, your team has always had the best of midfielders in La Liga. Say from Xavi, Iniesta to Messi to currently Frenkie de Jong, the Dutch maestro. So do you go with Novagato saying, as he said, Toni Kroos and Marcos Llorente, or do you have any other names to suggest here?
Marcos Llorente is obviously an undisputed pick, as I said at the start of the podcast, because like he not only has he been consistent, he has been versatile also. Like there have been so many positions that he has played in, but he has always performed. And the other name, like I'm confused between Mikel Merino, he has played well. Frenkie de Jong, like he has played well, but he should be in the team provided the Llorente and de Jong can fit in a team together. And then there's also Toni Kroos. So these are the three names that should be there other than Llorente. Like one of these three.
Okay, so you name Mikel Merino, then Toni Kroos and Frenkie de Jong along with Llorente. Llorente is currently the top assist provider in La Liga, that is 11 assists, and he has also reached double digits in goals. So he has been performing way above his expectations since his Real Madrid days. Currently, he has been playing for Atletico Madrid, which is a very heartbreaking news for all the Real Madrid fans. But he has been giving in spades to his current team. So we have one position confirmed with Marcos Llorente, and the other position is still a bit shaky. Shubhadeep, who do you think should play in the two, and why is it Marcos Llorente plus someone else?
Well, as you said, it's Marcos Llorente plus someone else. And when Marcos Llorente first came, we thought he would be a natural successor to Casemiro. Turns out he's now a natural successor to Mesut Ozil. So things always don't go according to plan. And talking about plan, one player who definitely ruined Real Madrid's plans for a title was Ivan Rakitic, and he should definitely come in the talking for it. I'm actually confused a bit between Ivan Rakitic and Sergio Canales of Real Betis. As you know, we haven't beaten Real Betis at home, I think, since 2017 when we won 2-1 against them. So, and one player for Betis, another heartbreak, Sergio Canales is a ex-Madrid player who played for us at a very young age. I'm actually a bit undecided, so I'll just let you make the decision, I guess. I don't think Papu Gomez would come. He has not been that impressive. But for me, it's with Llorente, either Rakitic or Canales.
So there are so many names to choose from, which is Sergio Canales and Marcos Llorente is already fixed. So, like with consensus, I would like to go with. Okay, all three of you have given three different names in the lineup: Tony Cruz, Mikel Merino, Sergio Canales. I think we can keep one of them as a honorable mention to be fielded in as substitutes. But seriously, I need one name who will be Lorente's partner in this midfield. We have to make it final, guys. Niloy, what is your final suggestion here?
Yeah, so on a second thought, I think Sergio Canales actually might be a good name because he has played in variety of midfield positions this season, and he has played more than Mikel Merino. He has played in CDM. Further up, also he has played, and like he is one of the main reasons that Nabil Fekir has had the freedom to move upwards and like attack for Real Betis, and like he mentioned, Canales has been good in big games also, like in against Real Madrid. So I think that his name might be considered here.
Okay, so we have two panelists with us who have gone with Sergio Canales from Real Betis. Navagoto, do you still side with Tony Cruz, or might you be swayed to our Real Betis Sergio Canales agenda here?
Yeah, I actually had a Canales like as a good shout, apart from Tony Cruz, but yeah, like he has been crucial for Real Betis because they have been performing good at the season. So if like I think they are both very good, and if you were to pick, I think either it should be fine. So it's up to you then.
Okay, either should be fine has been Navagoto's verdict, and well, as majority said, we would have to pick Sergio Canales, and our midfield three is now Casemiro, Marcos Llorente, and Sergio Canales. Now, guys, here's the tricky part. I would ask you to choose the right wing back and the left wing back. We have a lot of names here, namely Kieran Trippier, then Lucas Vasquez, who deserves a very big shout from the Real Madrid fan base, and then we have Jordi Alba in the left side, and Emerson, and and other few other players who might be placed in the lineup. Niloy, I would like to go to you first. Who will be the right wing back and the left wing back in this team?
Yeah, I think since we have picked a midfield of Casemiro, Llorente, and Canales, like they can always track back and also move up the field. So picking two explosive wingbacks, I think like we have got the license to do that. So obviously, I would pick Jordi Alba, given how good he performs when he doesn't have to do much of defensive duties. Like he is very good in attack. He has been giving great crosses this season. His crossing has been good. He has like played 1-2s with Griezmann or Messi or even at times with Pedri, and made those cutbacks. So I think he is one name that deserves. Hard luck for Javi Galan from Huesca. He should have been there, but Jordi has been just too good. And in right back, maybe it's Kylian Trippier, because like Lucas Vasquez deserves a shout, but Trippier has just been better. And like you had said before, also he combined well with Marcos Llorente, and Atletico Madrid's right wing has created many chances this season. They have also like put Angel Correa in the mix, and the right wing has been pretty lethal. So my names would be Trippier and Alba.
Okay, so we have one Barcelona in the left side and one Atletico Madrid in the right side. Shubhadeep, do you go with this lineup of Jordi Alba and Kieran Trippier as the wing backs, or do you have any other names?
For me, it definitely has to be Kylian Trippier on the right side. I think Atletico's right has been very good, whether it be Carrasco, whether it be Correa, whether it be Trippier, both in terms of going forward and keeping the balance at the back, which Atletico always do well. They score roundabout somewhere between 20 to 70 minutes, and they just don't concede. That is always their USP. And Trippier has been very good. I think it's rare that an English player is doing very good in La Liga. It does not happen. It rarely happens, and he has done very good. And the left side, obviously, Jordi Alba, because we are fielding wing backs, not full backs. And Jordi Alba is a very good wing back. He's not a very good left back per se, but he's a very good wing back. And I think he has 21 goals plus assists this season, if I'm not wrong. So for me, it's Trippier and Alba. I really wanted Vasquez or someone, but it's Trippier and Alba.
Okay, so two of the big three have sided with Kieran Trippier and Jordi Alba. Navagato, you will be very happy to see Trippier's name. And do you think Jordi Alba should get his place in the left side, or you have any other names?
Yeah, I think this combination should be like there anonymously. Like Trippier has been pretty good on the right side, and I'll just pick him just for his connection with Marcus Llorente. They both have combined pretty well for the goals and assists. So yeah, Trippier has to be there, and yeah, as Shubh, I think mentioned that Jordi Alba should be there. Like he wouldn't make the team of the season as a left back, but as a left wing back, he should be there. And again, his connection with Messi is pretty good as well. So yeah, this two are my picks from my side as well.
Okay, so all three of our panelists have gone with the same two names, which is Kieran Trippier and Jordi Alba. So which makes our midfield five a complete success. We have Jordi Alba in the left wing back. We have two central midfielders, namely Marcos Llorente and Sergio Canales. We have our defensive midfielder in Casemiro, and we have our right wing back in Kieran Trippier. So here comes the big part. We are playing with two strikers up front. One of them is Leo Messi, and for the other part, we have Yusuf El Nesri, who has currently 19 goals. Gerard Moreno, who has 21 goals. Karim Benzema, who also has 21 goals. Luis Suarez, who has, I think, 18 or 19 goals. And Iago Aspas. I am keeping his name just because he has provided so many assists. 11 is the number of assists he has provided this season, while also scoring 12 or 13 goals this season. So you have 4 to 5 names, guys. Shubhadeep, who will be your pick to partner along with Messi?
My partner alongside Messi is the name I put up in the very first minutes of this video, that is Karim Benzema. I really think Luis Suarez has been very good. He has found himself, reinvented, but one thing I would like to tell about Luis Suarez is I don't think he has been that great against the top four. Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Sevilla. I don't think I know that he hasn't scored against Madrid. He has, I think. Hasn't
Yes,
he?
in
One
the
goal,
second,
one goal, one goal. Yeah, 1-1 draw. But other than that, in the 2-0 loss or both games against Barcelona or even against Sevilla, if I'm not wrong, he hasn't really been. Uh, I think what Suarez has done this season, he has learned his strength. He knows he does not have that energy to hound anymore that he used to do in the past. So he has saved his stamina and he has made those runs when he saw space. But I think Karim Benzema's all over game has just been brilliant. We saw what Madrid had become when he was out, and when he came back, they were a very different team. And even he has extended that form to the Champions League as well. Madrid may have gone out, but Benzema was very good in the Champions League. So I think we're not doing all competitions, but given his role in the team, his all over game and the goals, it has to be Benzema along with Messi for me.
Nabagato, do you side with Shubhajit? Speak of Karim Benzema.
Yeah, no doubt. I think Benzema alone has been carrying Madrid's attack. I think what's the percentage? Like 70% of the goals has been scored by him.
Yes,
And,
Benzema has 23 goals, and the next top scorer in league is Casemiro, who has 6 goals. So you can just imagine the distance between them.
Yeah, so like he alone has carried this team and like made them in the contention for the league. So that speaks volume of the player. And yeah, he's so like all over the pitch and he's so good. Even in the Champions League match against Chelsea, the goal he scored out of nothing. Like very few strikers I think can score that goal. So yeah, overall he has been vital for Madrid this season in La Liga as well. So yeah, apart from Messi, Benzema should be the striker. Yeah.
Okay, we have two panelists saying Karim Benzema should partner up with Leo Messi. Niloy, do you agree with their consensus?
Yeah, like I would have been fine with either of Gerard Moreno or Karim Benzema because both of them have been like pretty influential for their team this season, and like they are players that have dragged their attack single-handedly. But Benzema has done more of it, as you said. Casemiro is the second highest scorer with just 6 goals. I can like relate to the plight of Madrid fans here because at one point of time I have seen Lionel Messi do the same thing for Barcelona, carrying the attack alone. So I think that Benzema deserves a shout.
Okay, so we have Leo Messi and Karim Benzema both as the final two outlets in this team. Now, if you would remember, we still have one defensive slot to fill alongside Stefan Savic and Jules Koundé. I would like to revisit that before we go to the goalkeeper. Nabagato, again I come to you. Who is the third pick?
So if it's a three CB partnership, I think apart from Savage and Koundé, Hermoso has to go there. He has been pretty vital for the season. He has a pretty good with the ball, pretty good. Like he's like a rare ball playing CB in La Liga, and I think he would be pretty good for Spain national team as well. Yeah, and he is the reason that we play three at the back. Like if he gets injured, then we revert back to 4-4-2, and most of the goals and through balls are just amazing. So I think I'll go with Hermoso.
Okay, so Niloy has given us his Nobagato has given us his pick. I'm so sorry. Niloy, would you go with his pick of Hermoso or do you have other names?
No, like I said, like I had mentioned before, Pau Torres should be in the mix. Like I'm more sure of it now because we have made the rest of the team and we have a pretty solid midfield, and like we can afford to have a player like Pau Torres who would, if needed, step out from defense, and like play those touches with midfield and then play the pass forward like he does. So I think he would be a better name than Hermoso because like he has got the potential. Like he's potentially like a better player than Mario Hermoso according to me.
Okay, Shubhadeep, you have picks of Mario Hermoso and Pau Torres. Who will be your choice?
I think when I'm in a dilemma, I usually tend to look at stats. And stats say that Atletico have only conceded 22 goals this season, but it's an all-over combined effort. We can't say that Oblak or Trippier or Savage's effort were more or less than Hermoso. It's a combined effort, but I think for his team, Pau Torres has just stood out. I think I even dropped his name earlier, and I would agree with Niloy here. He is young and he has very good qualities, and he's being scouted by all top European clubs. They're just thinking, and in all probabilities, he will be sold after this summer. So I'm just going to go with Pau Torres.
Okay, it seems like Nobagato has been the minority here, as the other two have gone with Pau Torres. So our defense lineup stands as of now is Stefan Savic, Jules Koundé, and Pau Torres. We have 10 players done, and we are now left with the one of the most important positions, that is the goalkeeper. And of course, our two picks are Thibaut Courtois and Jan Oblak. Jan Oblak has conceded only 23 goals, and he has kept the most clean sheets this season. Thibaut Courtois is just behind him in one less clean sheet, and he has conceded 3 more goals in 26. So a very crucial position and two big names. Niloy, considering none of those are from your team, who will be your pick here?
It's actually a very difficult pick because both of them have been great, but like considering one thing is that Diego Simeone's whole setup for years has been defensive, not like not denying the greatness of Jan Oblak, but he has had a strong defense in front of him, which at times Thibaut Courtois didn't. Like in big matches, sometimes we could see that Courtois was the only one keeping Madrid in the match. Like I have seen Courtois make saves, and like I thought to myself that he probably is the difference between Madrid's 3 points and 0 points in a game. Like even in UCL against Chelsea, Madrid might have faced a humiliation if it wasn't for him. Like he pulled out some excellent saves, like against 2-3 players. So it has to be him.
Okay, Shubhadeep, I might know who your pick is, considering you are a Real Madrid fan, but I would still like to hear it.
I was actually thinking, I'm not sure, but I'll allow Nobagato to confirm this. Jan Oblak has 100 clean sheets in his first 155 games, right?
Nobagato, can
I
you
am
please
not
confirm?
aware of this, but we can
Okay.
check online.
I know that Jan
No,
Oblak has more
post
than
recently
50% of clean sheets. He
yeah,
has played 300 games,
it's
and
a crazy number.
yes, he has 155
It's a
clean
crazy
sheets.
number.
Yeah, best clean sheet, I think ratio among all the goalkeepers as well. Yeah.
Yes, which brings me to the point that Nila was making. It's that Atletico, it's a primarily a defensive setup. They enjoy defending. A lot of people think that attacking football is the best football, filled with flair and style. But defending can be very good if done correctly. And these players that Simeone coaches, they enjoy defending. It's not like it's their like no other option. They have to defend. They enjoy doing it, and they do it in a very effective manner. And Jan Oblak is the linchpin of that. But as this Nilo also pointed out that yes, Thibaut Courtois has sometimes pulled off saves that looked impossible this season. Something that De Gea was doing, I think, for Man United a few years back. Almost like that. Not a very good defense. Real Madrid have a good defense, but their main defenders have been out for most of the season, and it has been Thibaut Courtois carrying along. I really think Jan Oblak should be there, but club bias, so I'm going to go with Courtois.
Okay, we have a club bias situation here, where a Real Madrid fan is picking Thibaut Courtois. I would really hope Nobagato doesn't side with his club and pick Jan Oblak. But Nobagato, who do you think should be, keeping all the stats and everything aside, who do you think should keep the goal for this team?
I mean, if you ask me, I don't know why this is still a debate, and like why Oblak is not outright pick for this. But like I understand, like yeah, Courtois has been pretty vital for his team, and yeah, and also this point I don't agree with, like how Madrid is more defensive. I mean, Atletico is more defensive, and that's why you don't you disregard the defending or the shot keeping of Oblak. You could say that Oblak then gets more shots, and he has more shot saving ratio than Courtois uh, in overall the match. But also keeping that aside, if you see how many points Oblak has saved in the last few minutes of a lot of matches, he has saved 2 penalties this season in the last few minutes, and one of the penalties was shot as outside, so I won't count that. So if you count that, he has saved 2 penalties, saved us two plus 2, 4 points there. And also, if you watch the last match, um, he made 3 vital saves, if I'm not wrong, which helped us get the 3 points at the end. So yeah, I think it should be an outright pick, and Oblak should be there. And it's mentioned that Courtois has 17 clean sheets, but he has 16 clean sheets, and Oblak has 18 clean sheets. And
Oblak
yeah,
has played one game more, so he has 18 now. I haven't been counting the last one because Oblak has played one game more. But we will see after tonight's game if Courtois is still one less or he goes down to 16.
Yeah.
So we have a very big dilemma in our hands. Two of the best goalkeepers.
I
And
wanted to
Shubhadeep-
point something out.
Shubhadeep wants to point something out here. Please do so.
I think Novagato is right when he says that his Oblak skills are disregarded because he's playing in front of a supposedly great defense. But that also means that due to the nature of their play, Oblak faces a lot more shots. I think I actually agree to the point. I also agree to the point that Courtois had very crucial penalties and won points for them. But I would also like to point out the reverse side. I think at January, Atletico were leading by 11 points with a game in hand, which is virtually lead of 14 points, which has now come down to a 2-point advantage, which I think they will still retain. But in this phase also, I think Courtois has been good and Oblak has been good as well. But I still think in some of those games, it's not that Oblak has been bad. It's just that he has conceded in situations which has put the team in trouble. Maybe he could have done more, maybe he couldn't. But I think those goals eventually made a very interesting title challenge out of one that should have been a very easy sale for Atletico. And Oblak was a part of that. So I think that should play a factor.
Okay, everyone is making some pretty good arguments here. Hell, if it was up to me, I would have picked Ter Stegen in the lineup, but he has been pretty poor this season, hasn't he? Well, aside from everything, Thibaut Courtois or Jan Oblak, whoever gets picked, the other is of course an honorable mention in the list. I would not go in the trouble of picking one of the two, but kinda goalkeeper bias, I would keep Jan Oblak in the team because he has simply been the better of the two goalkeepers. Sorry guys, but I'm siding with my rival Madrid side fan here, Novagato. So it was a very good discussion with you guys, and what we can see, our team stands with Jan Oblak in the goal, three defenders of Stefan Savic, Jules Koundé, and Pau Torres. Right wing back Kieran Trippier, left wing back Jordi Alba, two central midfielders of Sergio Canales and Marcos Llorente, one central defensive midfielder in Carlos Casemiro, and the final two is Karim Benzema and Lionel Messi. We have plenty names who we could have placed in this lineup, but we couldn't, namely Mario Hermoso, Toni Kroos, Gerard Moreno, and but Thibaut Courtois. These four have been phenomenal, but simply not as good as those guys who have been in the final 11. They would obviously be a part of the honorable mentions as we were talking about. And this concludes our discussion of the La Liga team of the season. Please like and subscribe. And you can also subscribe FIIOB TV for live match updates, among other things. Catch you in the next video, guys. Good night.